Disclaimer, this series revolves around criticising things, and just because I'm doing that doesn't necessarily mean I dislike the thing. Thank you. Click below to watch the original Sins video, or to buy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And before we start, I would just like your input on a segment for CinemaSins Sins 2. I've got a pretty simple question for you. What do you think is the biggest CinemaSins sin? It doesn't have to be just a specific mistake either, it can be anything you want. Also, don't feel the need to hold back, I'm very difficult to offend. Leave your answers in the comments below and I'll take a look at them in CinemaSins Sins Part 2. I'd also like to thank Turbo Nerdo for submitting a script for this video, which was 5,000 words long. That is ridiculous. Just thank you, Turbo. I've not copied it word for word, but it has really influenced the writing process of this video, and pointed things out to me that I didn't myself notice. Alright, this intro is getting so long I'm getting Mapstravaganza flashbacks. Let's start the video. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, everything wrong within 17 minutes or less, spoilers duh.
In case you confused it with Missouri Jupiter.
The purpose of putting the word Earth here isn't to tell people that Missouri is on Earth, but to tell audience members, especially ones less familiar with the franchise, that the whole movie isn't going to take place on Earth.
Holy 1980 Kurt Russell effects are pretty amazing. Took me at least 20 seconds to figure out I wasn't watching used cars.
You're right, this totally is worth a sin off.
But sin for making me think I was watching used cars.
Oh.
I guess these letters and numbers are some sort of coordinates, which, just like latitude and longitude, I don't f***ing need.
You don't need chocolate sprinkles on your ice cream either. They're just there to add a little extra flavour.
Me? Isn't Drax just like a big dude with no special powers? How the f*** does he jump this high and far?
Lower gravity.
Also, if the alien's skin is tough, why does a sword suddenly slice through him, even with the cut? It's not like the skin underneath the cut is suddenly weak because the cut exists.
Have you ever tried to tear a laminated piece of paper? It's hard. But if you make a little cut in the edge of the paper and then try to tear it, it's much easier. And there you go.
How have they not lost his ass at this point, even by accident?
Because as was established in the opening, they all go to great lengths to protect him. Also, by accident? How else would they lose him? I mean, on purpose, yeah, but obviously they're not going to do that, so shut up.
That's funny. We can make Kurt Russell look 29, but we can't make a space confrontation look unlike Titan AE. Our heroes are now being attacked by the Sovereign, who hired them for that job they just completed, all because Rocket stole something. And my point is that none of this f***ing matters. This is all just noise until we get to the Kurt Russell stuff.
Although it isn't really part of the A story, we do need something for Kurt Russell to show up and save them from. Plus, it's a really fun action set piece, so it may as well be this.
This is all just noise until we get to the Kurt Russell stuff. This could literally be any attacking fleet right now, and it wouldn't matter. It could be the Klingons, and most of us wouldn't even bat an eye.
You're right, it doesn't really matter who this is, which is why they've gone for the simplest available solution of having someone we've already been introduced to be the threat for this scene. It all makes sense and no one acted out of character to make it happen, so what would you prefer? Do you want them to introduce some new villains for them to fight even though it doesn't matter? Is your next sin going to be about the fact that the colour of the ships doesn't matter either? Because that's also true.
We're not killing anyone. All those ships are remotely piloted.
There is no conceivable reason to have a massive monitor on your remotely piloted ship showing you an image of the pilot. It's a remote control, not a Skype call.
Wait a f***ing minute. Didn't they hire the Guardians to kill the space monster we saw in the opening credits? And didn't the High Priestess say,
"We could not risk the lives of our own"?
So how would they have risked the lives of their own citizens if they use remotely piloted ships?
There are lots of potential reasons that using battleships to take out a ground target may not be the best idea, especially when that ground target is on your own territory.
Fire with the intent to kill.
The f*** have they been doing, eh? Firing with the intent to miss?
Ah yes, kill or miss. Those are of course the only two options. You can't wound, warn, disable, damage or overwhelm. That's why there's no such thing as battlefield medics. Everyone's either fine or dead.
Once again, the Starship Enterprise crash lands through a bunch of trees and... Oh, you're telling me this isn't the Starship Enterprise, but a ripoff of all the Starship Enterprise crashes that have occurred in all 48 movies? Okay, still a sin.
A ship crashing in the way that a ship would crash is a sin because in another franchise another ship crashed in the way that a ship would crash. Because it's clearly a ripoff and not just a ship crashing. Jeremy forgets to sin the fact that Gamora is putting her hands on her hips here, which is a blatant ripoff of this stock photo I found of someone putting their hands on their hips. You see, Jeremy, that's what you just did. Just comparing things isn't a sin.
We almost died because of your arrogance.
More like because he stole Annulax batteries.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm 100% with Peter Quill on this one.
So you've picked a side in the argument? I mean, good for you, I guess, but you understand that movies are supposed to have conflict in them, right? Also, why are you siding with either of them? They both did stupid shit that put the rest of the crew in danger just to massage their own egos. I wanted to follow this up with a pun about Peter's dad, but I couldn't think of one.
After all these years, I've found you.
And just in time to save the day, too. What are the odds?
I'd say they're pretty high since the Guardians are doing something death-defying pretty much every day.
appears that Biff Tannen from Back to the Future 2 joined forces with Joker from The Killing Joke to create a city for this movie.
This movie, that movie.
Hey, Marvel, do you not have enough characters in these things? Avengers Infinity War already has Infinity actors in it. It promises to be the No Man's Sky of movies. In 15 years, we'll be buying tickets to save Chris Evans because he's stuck in a deleted scene multiverse. Ender's Game technology will be added to the reclining seats at your local movie theater. I mean, Jesus.
Based on the fact that this character is necessary to the story, I would say yes. He's a necessary character. Yes, the MCU does have a lot of characters in it, but first of all, that's okay. And second of all, none of them are this character, and this character is specifically the one we need for this film.
Well, you'll never hear the horns of freedom when you die, Yondu.
I think it's pretty hilarious that this group race club of Ravagers has a super strict moral code.
Why? They're basically pirates, and real historical pirates had a very strict moral code. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did. Let's do a Google to find out. Yeah, the source I found listed a load of rules that pirates followed. I'll paraphrase some of them for you. Lights out by 8. No bringing a girl home onto the ship, even if she's dressed as a man, or we'll kill you. If your leg gets cut off because of us and you're our friend, we'll give you some money to say sorry. Don't gamble, you twat. And the captain gets more of the loot than you because he's the captain, so suck it up. So yeah, pirates have rules. This isn't anything new.
That is called a practical joke.
Thank you very much.
I just made it up.
Somehow, against all odds, the former WWE personality has become the best thing about these movies.
Drax is my favourite Guardian too. He just sort of has this sweet innocence about him that I love.
That's my point, Peter. What if this man is your Hasselhoff?
This asshole shows up and says he's Quill's dad. Quill is immediately suspicious, but the usually guarded and skeptical Gamora is going to pull heartstrings and talk Quill into believing? If anything, based on the last movie, Quill should be stupidly ready for puppy love with his new daddy, and Gamora should be the one trying to talk some skeptical sense into him.
But this completely lines up with both characters as we know them. Gamora, whose parents I assume were killed by Thanos, I can't remember any time when that was specifically stated, but I do think it's a very safe assumption, was robbed of the chance to grow up with her biological parents that we're told she was very happy with by Thanos, who took her into a life that she grew to hate. She must have spent ages dwelling on the idea that if only her parents were still alive and she could have been raised with them, wishing she had another chance to be raised in a loving family. It's a chance she must want so much but knows she's never going to get. So when she sees someone else being presented with this chance that she must have always wanted but not taking it, of course she's telling them to jump at it. Peter, on the other hand, although he was also raised by adopted parents in less than ideal conditions, knows that his father left him, and not only that, left his mother as well to die without him. Of course he wants there to be a good and happy reason for it all, but it's only natural he's skeptical. He's hopeful, of course, but he's not ready to open himself up to this guy he just met just yet.
Is this spray thing actually repairing the f***ing ship? Magic metal and complex mechanics at your fingertips?
So you can believe that a raccoon is best friends with a tree and together they're bounty hunters, but you can't believe a handheld 3D printer. That's just taking it too far.
After 20 plus years, Quill somehow still has the David Hasselhoff picture that was just mentioned one scene ago.
Well, it was probably one of the items he had in his backpack with him when he was abducted. And if it was, of course he's kept it safe. There's no way he wouldn't treasure the only things he had left from Earth.
I can also alter emotions to some extent.
Yeah, like what?
Like, say a screenwriter needs something to happen in their movie and they run into a wall. They invent my character to solve a problem, which will involve someone's emotions. Stuff like that.
First of all, adding a Chekhov's gun superpower is not a bad way to get around a wall. It's a perfectly good way. And secondly, I can't think of a single scene in this movie where Mantis is the only feasible solution. Certainly not from a screenwriter's perspective. I mean, she does help put Ego to sleep for a while, but they could just as easily have not had Ego show up as early.
I put a tracer on your ship back there during the war over Xandar.
Yeah, figures. Space tech allows for easy tracers, but not tracer detectors.
Yes, just like in real life.
No one will be seated during the Yellow Submarine portion of the movie.
On the one hand, this is a really nice scene, but on the other hand, you can compare it to something, so you should sin it.
I have so many questions about this 3D display that aids Ego's story. Like, is this a simulation by a computer? Is it Ego's thoughts?
This is something that literally only you care about. Everyone else is just happy enough to accept this. You're the only one going, "Can the movie please explain to us how this graphic display works?" That's what you sound like now. I'm very sorry about that.
It takes a long-ass time for this guy to die in space, and I'm pretty sure everyone from Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson to Tim Robbins in Mission to Mars would tell you his death would be near instantaneous.
No? Google it?
Look, if everything on Ego's planet is going to be plastic and wax-looking, you might as well take me to Madame you know, the wax museum that I'm thinking of. 42nd Street in Manhattan, next to the AMC Empire and the McDonald's, that thing.
This movie has something that looks vaguely waxy in it. That wax museum has something that looks vaguely waxy in it, and that's a sin. Also, that doesn't really look like wax. It looks a lot more like porcelain to me. Or maybe some kind of plastic. But I guess there aren't any porcelain or plastic museums that are famous enough for you to get the name wrong as a joke. And that's joke in inverted commas, by the way. But I think the main thing to take from this is that wax isn't a sin, it's a material.
My mother told everyone my father was from the stars.
It's like that movie, Starman. It was a John Carpenter film who worked a ton with Kurt Russell back in the day, but he put Jeff Bridges in the movie instead. I guess Kurt Russell finally got to play Starman.
I think what you did there is just say some words for a while and then roll the dinger. Like, that was just a collection of words.
He offered me a place with the Ravagers. Said all I needed to do was...
Yeah, fuck character building and plot, am I right? We're just here for bright colours and explosions. Oh, and alien babes. Well, no, not actual aliens, that would be gross, just people in body paint, basically. Sometimes with like horns or something, but that doesn't matter, as long as they're hot alien babes. That's what we're here for, we don't care about plot.
Aw, I can't be mad at this movie now. Look how cute Groot is. And this opening dance with all the mayhem going on around it is so fun. Damn it, you put me in a good mood, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But also, Groot will later prove to be super helpful in battle, even while tiny, so this opening scene just makes him look like a selfish dick.
All the fighting that Groot does in this film is he knocks over one dude, and that's just like a normal dude. He's one of the Raiders, he's nothing special. So that's what you call being super useful in battle? And they're fighting an interdimensional being at the moment, what do you expect Groot to do? What was that? Why is this scene 11 minutes into the video instead of at the start where it should have been? Shut up! I guess you'll never know.
Groot cuts off some dude's toe without him feeling it. I guess when Ravagers drink, they drink the top shelf blackout stuff that allows you to lose limbs without pain.
A toe is not a limb. Also, no one said the Ravager didn't feel it. We have no idea what the story is here.
He hates heads. On anyone, not just himself.
Maybe this is part of the joke, but if Rocket can understand Groot like this, and Groot can understand Rocket, then how the f is he not getting the message about Yondu's fit?
This scene only shows us that Rocket can understand Groot. It doesn't show us anything that would make us believe the inverse is also true.
Baby Groot kicks ass here, despite having gone the entire movie not kicking any ass.
Yeah, that's allowed. Also, I would like to remind you all that this is all it takes for Jeremy to be convinced that Groot would be useful in the fight against the giant space octopus.
Having gone the entire movie not kicking any ass. Why is there any tension in this goddamn movie?
Jeremy skips 69. Sex joke.
Somehow Yondu missed Taserface during his whistling spree, despite the fact that he's killed more people than was originally shown on the ship.
More people than was shown on the ship? Oh, you must be referring to that big everyone on the shit shop thing. Everyone on the shit shop. Nice. I'm just gonna try that again. Ah yes, he must be referring to that everyone on the ship shot they included. Because as we all know, you're not allowed to have a ship in a movie unless you show us literally everyone crewing it.
Christ, this movie runs in place while Peter and the gang are on the Ego Planet. Sure, there are some fun moments here and there, but I just end up remembering the Avengers going to Hawkeye's farm in Age of Ultron.
I guess you're right. Although there is an alien babe and bright colours in this shot, there aren't any explosions, so...
Prometheus' school of goddammit, if she'd just run towards the ship, she'd have eliminated about 80% of the bullet danger. I'm just saying.
Are you sure about that?
Look, we're in a movie that is a little bit more comedic than usual, but I'm about all out of f***s to give when it comes to how many things these people survive.
Okay, so you make a lot of sins like this, but I don't want to include them all in this video because we've not got all day. The characters in Guardians are supposed to be super strong and super resilient, which you don't seem to understand, because you keep saying that the things happening to the characters should be killing them, even though the characters we've been presented with are strong enough to survive things like that. Now, if you have a problem with the resilience or super strength, then that's fine, you can express that problem. I personally don't have a problem with that, but I can see why someone else would. It's not the most believable thing in the world, and it probably doesn't have much grounds in real science. But if that's the thing you have a problem with, maybe mention it? Because as it is, all the sins you've made for this just seem to be showing that you don't actually understand that these characters have super strength and super resilience.
Do not tell me what I want!
I don't need to tell you what you wanted!
Skip!
Ah, so this scene has an explosion and alien babes in it, but seems to have made the mistake of not having enough bright colours to keep you entertained. Because we're not here for this boring character stuff. Who wants that in their sci-fi movie? Am I right?
You're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be.
Jesus Christ. Can we move the plot now? You played catch with him 25 minutes ago. Can we get to the f***ing point?
And now we're back to no alien babes, no explosions, and no bright colours. This is character development, and also it's about to move the plot in a massive way, so I don't know what your problem is. Well, other than the lack of bright colours, alien babes, and explosions. Are you kidding me? That was the funniest and most adorable vomit ever. A sentence I never thought I'd say, but here we are.
I know who you are, boy, because you're me.
I'm glad this movie could work out so many daddy issues over this weird celestial tapestry. Fathers leave. No need to be a pussy.
You could appreciate this film's character-driven plot and the themes it has to offer about family and dealing with a difficult past relating to your family. or you could call the characters pussies for a joke that, while yes, is a joke, still doesn't come off great.
Not one of them carried the celestial genes. Until you, Peter.
Out of the thousands of women he successfully got pregnant, Peter was the only one? I might be talking out of my ass here, but wouldn't a celestial gene be a dominant trait? Can someone do a Punnett square and get back to me?
You're absolutely right. You are talking out of your ass. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any actual scientific research into whether celestial god genes are dominant or recessive.
You killed my mother!
Every motherfucking one of these motherfuckers has a mom who not only dies tragically, it drives them. The Winter Soldier killed my mom. Martha! Why did you say Martha?
Yeah, man, they've just had their mums murdered. No need to be a pussy about it. Just take a step back and a chill pill. He just killed your mom. It's not like it's something to really get angry about. Jeez.
Movie asked, how many sudden ships do we need to show before it becomes overkill? Then answered that question with, 3 times more than you think.
Yeah, why would they send a lot of ships? It's not like last time they tried this, hundreds of them got obliterated.
This is the problem with the Sovereign still lingering around in this movie, all for some batteries with almost no explanation of their importance. They bogged down a finale that could have been pretty simple and turned it into Jupiter ascending levels of noise and CGI battles.
Ah, I see, so this scene has too many bright colours and explosions. You're bored by character stuff, but you don't want too much space battle in your space battle scenes. Just one explosion per scene will suffice.
Why does human Peter Quill need a space mask, but Raccoon Rocket does not? Is there air? You don't know.
Isn't that just a mask he wears for combat sometimes?
I am Groot. What's that?
He says, welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
And yet, telling him what button not to press is still a fucking ordeal.
Again, this doesn't establish anything about how well Groot can understand Rocket. So the sin total was 52 sins, and the penalty will be Groot vomit. But now it's time for a quickie review. So, Guardians 2. After seeing it, it quickly became one of my favourite MCU films. I think of all the MCU films, this is the one that made me feel the most feelings. And yes, I have seen Infinity War. In the first film, we got introduced to a load of lovable rogues, and that was really fun. But in the second film, we really started to delve deep into what makes those lovable rogues tick, and I am a sucker for that kind of thing. And I would love to go more in depth, but my jaw is giving me really bad pain right now, and I have no idea why, so I'm gonna stop talking. Thank fuck I've already recorded the teaser and end segment. Oh, the end segment includes Infinity War spoilers, by the way. And when I say spoilers, I mean spoilers. Like, capital S. My jaw actually really hurts, I'm gonna stop talking, but yeah, big spoilers. Hi, you may remember that in a recent end segment I made 7 predictions about things that might happen in Infinity War. Now, I've seen Infinity War, so I think it'd be fun to take a look back and see what I got right. Welcome to 7 totally accurate Infinity War predictions. Come on, you guys knew I was going to do this at some point. Prediction 1. Thanos will win. I'm starting out fairly basic here, but I'm guessing that this movie is basically going to be the Empire Strikes Back of Avengers movies. My theory is that this movie, everything is just going to go to absolute fucking shit. Yeah! I mean, fucking yeah. Half the population of the universe died, so I think accurate. I mean, I did kind of cheat by using information I already had for that one, which was that this was originally titled Infinity War Part 1, which, you know, kind of a giveaway that not everything's going to be resolved by the end, but I still got a prediction right, which is maybe more than you can say for the last time I tried this with The Last Jedi, although to be fair, it was quite a difficult movie to predict. Prediction B. Thor will get a new hammer. I'm basing this one on the fact that in the Infinity War trailer, you know, the most discussed piece of footage ever, it looks like they've edited a hammer out of Thor's hand when he raises his hand up and all of the lightning sparks down. It looks quite a lot like they've edited a hammer out. And we know they're not beyond editing footage just for the trailers, because they gave him back his eye in that big scene in Thor Ragnarok, where he jumps onto the bridge. In the trailer he had his eye, but in the actual film it was gone. I mean, I'm personally kind of disappointed about this one. I thought Thor looked really badass when he was just like channeling the lightning through his body, but I guess he's getting a new hammer. So, this one was wrong. They may say it's right, they may say that he got a new hammer, but I refuse to believe that that thing that's clearly a fucking axe is a hammer. No, it's a fucking axe. Hammers have like the big flat bits that you use to hit things, and that one only has one on the back. Primarily, it's clearly a fucking axe. It's bullshit. I am going to retract my complaints about him not looking as badass with a hammer though. He definitely looks more badass with his axe. Prediction 26. When Thanos goes to Vision to get the Infinity Stone from him, Vision will just put on a hat and be like, "What Infinity Stone?" and Thanos will leave. So, that didn't happen. It would have been good though, come on. You know that you wanted that to happen. Prediction 7,429,512. Iron Man will be in it. He was. Prediction 7,429,513. Either Captain America, Star-Lord, Thor, Spider-Man, or Doctor Strange will take off their top, because this is Marvel and they're all for equal opportunities when it comes to revealing skin for sex appeal for a movie. It seems unfortunately they were much more focused on story in this film. It's a missed opportunity, really. Prediction 7,429,513,000 Someone's gonna fucking die. I mean, I was gonna try and think of who it might be, but I just wanted to get prediction right for once. Lots of people are saying it's going to be Iron Man, but I kind of think that's too obvious. I don't know. My bets are just on whichever actor's had enough of doing these movies. I think the word someone doesn't really cut it. Spoilers, by the way. Not actually as funny as it would be to put that there. I think I actually will edit a spoiler warning into the start of this end segment. Yeah, I think a few people died. Just a couple. Just, someone. Prediction 7. The movie will feature a graphic sex scene between Chewbacca and Luke Skywalker. Yes, I know I made this prediction for The Last Jedi, and yes, I know it didn't come true there. I would like to remind you, I didn't make that prediction because I thought it was going to come true. I made that prediction because if it did come true, I would just be like, you know, really impressive as a prediction person. It would just be a really impressive prediction because no one would have expected it. And I'm making this as a prediction about Infinity War for the exact same reason. Who would expect it? It's pretty much the last thing anyone would expect. Again, unfortunately this didn't happen. I wish it did. Would definitely have given me something to talk about in a video about Infinity War, which obviously is coming. But that was all 7 of my predictions for Infinity War. How did I do? I've forgotten to keep count of how many I got right. I'll put the score on screen. Wow. Go me, or wow, I'm shit, as is appropriate. Maybe even, wow, that was mediocre. Never heard those words before. I'm not putting that in. It's time for a teaser. See if you can guess what movie I'm doing the Sins video of next week based on these clues. One of the actors from Guardians 2 is in this movie. It's a movie that turned out a lot better than a lot of people expected it to. It's a prolonged sequel, a sequel that came out a long time after the original film. And it has the words "to the" in the title. I know that last one is really helpful, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Here's some music. You can listen to it by clicking the link on screen. Also, if you heard Hearthstone noises in the background of any of that video, it's definitely just your imagination.